Tonight, we're going to follow the money and expose some people. These people call themselves anti-racists. You may have heard of Ibram X. Kendi. He's the head anti-racist. And he says in order to truly be anti-racist, you also have to truly be anti-capitalist. Turns out he loves capitalism about as much as Milton Friedman. Kendi has made hundreds of thousands of dollars from his little white guilt shakedown. Let's break it down. Just in April last year, Kendi was paid $32,000 for an hour-long lecture on racial equity at the University of Virginia. That comes out to about $500 a minute. In September, he raked in $43,000 from the University of Wisconsin. 60-minute speech, little meet and greet, little anti-racist workshop. Airfare and meals were covered, first class all the way, baby. He's not the only one. The author of White Fragility, whatever that means, Robin DiAngelo, is the head honcho of it all. And she got rich by calling whites fragile and saying crazy things like this.
I'll never forget asking a group, okay, so what if you could just give us feedback on our inevitable and often unaware racist assumptions and behaviors? And I'll never forget this black man raising his hand and saying, it would be revolutionary. And you know, just take that in. I just want all the white people to just take that in. Revolutionary, that we would receive the feedback with grace, reflect, and seek to change our behavior. That's how difficult we are.
Wow.
That's how big a-holes we are.
Wow, Jimmy Fallon. Turns out she's making over $728,000 a year. And that's just in speaking fees. She's charging anywhere between 30 and 40 G's a speech. Just an hour where she calls whites racist. And even makes money advising companies on white fragility. And she's charging up to $15,000 a sesh. So you may be asking, who would pay for that? Just so you get the idea, the Bill Gates Foundation and Amazon are some of her biggest clients. They're buying racial protection, maybe? Not sure. We don't know. Maybe they just like to be called racists. And then there's Nicole Hannah-Jones. She's the creator of that stupid 1619 project. You can blame her for the critical race theory thing in schools. So just so happens, she has a $25,000 speaking fee. Show up for an hour, you give her 25 G's. Just last year, she was paid $50,000 by the Oregon State Education Department for 2 seminars where she criticized Martin Luther King's colorblindness. And these 3 are just the tip of the iceberg. There's a whole industry based on diagnosing and treating the existential crisis of racism in America. Read a couple of books, take a few CRT studies courses at Harvard or Vassar, learn the code words, do the work, and you too can go around lecturing employees of Fortune 500 companies on their lunch breaks. And you can get paid handsomely doing it. Like many big businesses. And this is a big business. The critical race theory industry is a cynical one. The weight loss company doesn't want you to lose weight. They want you to keep buying their shakes. The cigarette company doesn't want you to quit smoking. Big tech doesn't want you to log off. As long as the American public feels like it has to wash away its original sin of racism, critical race theorists will continue to make money hand over fist. And why mess up a good thing? After all, you don't kill the goose while it's laying golden eggs. You don't stop drilling a well when it's still full of oil. Well, unless you're Joe Biden. People like Kendi and DiAngelo aren't selling you a solution, they're selling you a problem. And it's one that can never be solved. But that's the point, isn't it? They don't care if their teachings make the world more or less racist. They only care about racism still happening so they can line their own pockets. Here now, co-chair of Project 21, Horace Cooper, and Heather McDonald, Manhattan Institute fellow and the author of Diversity Delusion. I didn't understand they could get paid this much by calling people racist, Heather. I mean, I should be doing this as a side hustle. Why haven't I figured this out?
Well, leaving aside Kendi's anti-capitalist hypocrisy, you've got to admire his genius in monetizing himself. My favorite charge is the $5,000 to spend 45 minutes meeting and greeting with Wisconsin college students on top of the $40,000 he was already charging the school for the magnificence of his presence. I expect him to start charging $500 per selfie fees. He's billing himself out at 10 to 20 times the rate of top partners in corporate law firms, and he doesn't even know anything. Now, collectively paying out millions of dollars to be harangued about racism is not the behavior of white supremacists. Indeed, this entire industry is founded on a lie. There's not a single mainstream institution that is not twisting itself into knots to hire and promote as many blacks as possible. Anyone who works in a corporation knows this. Anyone who works in academia, in the media, in banking knows this. If there's not proportional representation throughout the economy, the reason is the vast academic skills gap. The average black 12th grader reads at the level of the average white 8th grader, and 54% of black 8th graders do not possess even partial mastery of math skills. That's the problem that we and people like Kendi should be talking about. The problem is not racism, but they've made it taboo to talk about these issues. The only allowable explanation is racism, and as you say, Jesse, it's an incredibly lucrative lie.
Horace, do you think the companies and the colleges know it's a little bit of a shakedown and they're just like, buying some protection? Or do you think they actually want to feel guilty and they want to hear it for 40 to 50 G's a pop?
Well, there's no doubt that we're living in a culture where when you highlight issues of race, people think they're going to have to stand up and salute smartly. Here's my problem is this isn't anti-racism discussion. This is racist discussion. If you listen to some of the nonsense, and a lot of it is nonsense, that these presenters bring to the table, it includes things like assuming certain things about people solely because they're white and solely because they're black. We used to call that bigotry when that was done, instead of recognizing that people are individuals. Now, it's lucrative for these individuals to do these things, but it would be lucrative too if this were 1920 for David Duke to do this. The only difference is most people of good sense and goodwill understand they shouldn't say that and they shouldn't pay him.
Yeah, it's like assuming I'm good at squash because I'm white. Not very good. All right, thank you, guys.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.